Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing top 10 selfie phones. Before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe for more videos. Let's get started. Number 10. The Vivo Nex 3 is a true flagship. There are a few compromises here specs wise. It's got the most powerful Qualcomm mobile processor, the Snapdragon 855 Plus. The model has 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. The camera system on the back consists of a main 64MP sensor, coupled with a 13MP telephoto and a 13MP ultra-wide sensor. The selfie camera has a 16MP sensor and the LED flash, which is why the pop-up module is wider than usual. There's also a 4500 mAh battery that supports 44W quick charging, and the phone runs on Android 9 Pie. There are a couple of things that are missing, like the wireless charging, water resistant, face unlocking, and a stereo speaker. But for the most part, this is one of the most powerful smartphones you can buy. Number 9. The P30 Pro is Hawaii's photography-focused flagship, competing against other Android flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, as well as iPhones. Hawaii has positioned the P series as a premier camera phones on the market, but the P30 Pro is not a niche device targeted only at enthusiastic photographers. Everything about the P30 Pro is designed to appeal to mainstream users, from the eye-catching colorways to the impressive battery life and top-tier specs. Huawei P30 Pro takes the best bites of the Mate 20 Pro and adds a terrific camera. The P30 Pro has 3 main cameras and a time-of-flight (TOF) sensor that measures the distance to objects in the field of view. The main 40MP camera is what you'll see in most cases. Because it uses pixel binding, it saves 10MP images by default, but you can switch to full 40MP resolution if you prefer. For groups of people or landscapes, you can switch to ultra-wide camera. If you need to bring your subjects closer, switch to the telephoto. If it all sounds daunting, don't worry. You don't need to be a photography pro to master the P30 Pro. It's very simple to use once you learn its quirks, allowing you to fully focus on getting the best shot. Number 8. Samsung S10 is Samsung's smallest S10 and has the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chip, same 64GB of internal storage, same microSD card slot for storage expansion, same IP68 water and dust resistant, same faster wireless charging, same headphone jack, same stereo speakers, and the same new wireless power share feature for wirelessly charging accessories like the Galaxy Buds. The S10e also runs the same version of Android 9 Pie, with the Samsung's fabulous One UI interface. For the most part, the cameras are the same on the S10e as on the S10 and S10 Plus. On the front is a 10MP camera with f1.9 aperture that is also capable of recording video in 4K. On the back, there is a dual camera system with a 12MP main shooter, with variable f1.5 to 2.4 aperture and optical image stabilization (OIS), and the second 16MP ultra-wide shooter with f2.2 aperture and no OIS. The only camera missing from the S10e is the 12MP 2x telephoto lens on the S10 and S10 Plus. But take it from a guy who shoots tons of smartphone photos and videos. I've nearly filled up my 512GB of iPhone XS with the new photos and videos. When I say an ultra-wide camera is way more useful than a telephoto lens. Ultra-wide photos still look a little soft compared to shots from the main camera, but they're more than suitable for posting to Instagram or Twitter. Plus, it's a lot of fun to shoot ultra-wide photos and videos. Previously impossible to capture photos are now easily possible. Lens distortion be damned with the ultra-wide camera. Number 7. Google Pixel 4 XL is the pure Android phone from Google. It came seen late 2019. so Google Pixel 4 XL available in the market from October 2019. The phone got 61 trillion touchscreen display and a resolution of 1440 into 3040 pixels with an aspect ratio of 19:9, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The Google Pixel 4 XL has IP68 rated protection against dust and water, and the display has 90Hz refresh rate. The Google Pixel 4 XL has installed 7 animated Snapdragon 855 performance with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 614. It has a 6TB of RAM with 64GB or 128GB of internal X-rays. This phone does not have any slot for placing microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has a dual camera setup starting with 12.2 megapixel main shooter with a 0.4-7 aperture and the 16 megapixel teleporter lens which have 2.4 aperture on the front side. It has 8 megapixel selfie camera with a 2.0 aperture and a TOF 3D camera. Google Pixel 4 XL offer Android 10 operating system. As for the battery, it has a 3700 mAh non-removable battery with 18-watt fast charging support. The phone available in 3 color variant orients and it's weighs about 193 gram. Number 6. In terms of raw power, the ASUS ROG Phone 2 is probably the most powerful phone out there. Let's dive into what makes the phone a powerhouse just perfect for gaming. At the heart of the phone sits a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus, which is designed on a 6nm manufacturing process and has a clock speed of 2.96 GHz that offers 50% jump in performance when compared to Snapdragon 855. The variant has 8GB of DDR4X RAM and 128GB of UFS 3.0 storage. To sustain peak performance, the ROG Phone 2 has a second-gen, game-cooled 2 vapor chamber heat dissipation design that consists of a copper heat spreader and a carbon cooling pad. The ROG Phone 2 borrows its rear dual camera setup from the ASUS 6Z. The primary shooter is a 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor that is accompanied by a 13MP ultra-wide sensor with a field of view of 125 degrees. The selfie camera is a 24MP shooter with f2.0 aperture. The camera application is pretty feature-loaded and there is a wide variety of modes you can shoot in, including night mode and slow mode. The phone is also capable of shooting 4K at 60 frames per second with the primary sensor and up to 4K at 30 frames per second with the ultra-wide sensor. Videos from the front camera are limited to 1080p at 60 frames per second. Number 5. The S20's Ultra 6.9-inch AMOLED display, 511 ppi is stunning, offering users a Quad HD Plus dynamic resolution with HDR10+. It also comes with Samsung's Infinity O display, allowing for very minimal bezels. And unlike the S10 which features a front-facing camera on the right side, the Ultra's hole-punch selfie cam has been moved to the middle of the display. The Ultra features a Snapdragon 865 processor and comes in a variety of different configurations. You have the option between 12GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, or you can bump it up to 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. There is also a microSD card for up to 1TB of additional storage. But of course, that beefer configuration also increases the price to $1,600, which makes me cringe a bit. Considering the amount of storage, filming an 8K video is going to eat up. The later of the two storage options is certainly your best bet. At 5000 mAh, the Ultra packs a healthy battery, but it definitely takes a hit when you're shooting a ton of photos and videos, or when the refresh rate is set to 120Hz. On the back, the Ultra has a quad camera setup that includes a 108 megapixel wide-angle lens with f1.8 aperture, 120 degree 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens with f2.2 aperture, 48 megapixel telephoto lens with f3.5 aperture, time of flight sensor for depth. Number 4. Oppo Find X2 Pro is a very sophisticated super flagship smartphone. Everything here is the toughest, the most powerful processor, the coolest camera, as well as unlike Oppo Find X2 is IP68 rated, water and dust proof. Oppo X2 Pro is available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.7-inch AMOLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1440 into 3168 pixels. And this ultra-high resolution screen has 120Hz refresh rate. And this is world's first smartphone screen that supports more than billion colors, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. And the Oppo Find X2 Pro has IP68 rated for protection against dust and water up to 1.5 meter for 30 minutes. The Oppo Find X2 Pro has installed 7nm plus Snapdragon 865 result for its performance with integrated GPU, Adreno 650. It has a 12GB of RAM with 512GB UFS 3.0 internal extras respectively. For the main camera option of this smartphone and a triple camera setup. On the backside, it has a 48 megapixel main shooter with a 1.7 aperture and the 13 megapixel periscope teleporter language, a 3.0 aperture and the 48-minute Mr. Outside lens. With a 2.3 avatar on the front side, it has a 32 megapixel selfie camera. We have a 2.4 aperture, or behind, its True Pro operates Android 10 operating system with ColorWay's 7.1 UI. As for the battery, it has 4600 mAh battery with 65W fast charging very resulting support. The phone is available in 3 color variant, black, orange and Lamborghini edition, and it weighs about 207 grams. Number 3. Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus is an average size and price a smartphone on the flagship S20 line. In all aspects, it is similar to the Galaxy S20, only that is sleek, and battery is larger. It differs more seriously from the Galaxy S20 Ultra, and the cameras are even cooler. All kind of delicious bands such as IPCC are certified, and the glossy case is appeared in the smartphone, but unfortunately there is no 3.5mm headphone jack in this. A smartphone Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus is available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED to external display and a resolution of 1440 into 3200 pixels with an aspect ratio of 20:9, and it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus has IP68 rated for protection against dust and water up to 1.5 liter of depth, and it is going to last for 30 minutes. Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus has installed 7nm Exynos 990 poses, or for performance with iterated powerful GPU, Mali Z77FB, 11th for global hotshot, and another version for USA is available in the market, which has a Snapdragon 865 processor with Adreno 650 GPU. It has 8GB of RAM with 128GB of internal interest respectively. The False offers an expansion of memory up to 512GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has a quad camera setup with a 1.8 aperture and the 16 megapixel telephoto lens, 2.0 aperture, and the fourth camera is TOF 3D camera with 0.3 meter and f1.0 aperture. On the front side, it has a 10 megapixel selfie camera which have 2.2 aperture. Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus offer Android 10 120/2 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4500 mAh non-removable battery with 25 fast charging support. Example, and it also supports 9-watt wireless charging. The phone is available in 6 color variant and it's worth about 186 grams. Number 2. iPhone 11 Pro Max available in the market from September 2019. The phone has a 26.5 and Super Retina XDR L2 display and a resolution of 1280 and 2688 pixels with an aspect ratio of 19.5 each, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max IP68 rated for protection against dust and water, up to 4 meters or 30 meters. The iPhone 11 Pro Max has installed 700 and plus equal a 13 Bionic processor for its resilience, 4GB of RAM with 64GB, 256GB or 512GB internal storage. As usual, the iPhone does not have any microSD card. iPhone 11 Pro Max offers iOS 13, upgradable to iOS 13.2 operating system, and the phone also has QI wireless charging. The phone available in 4 color variants: Space Gray, Silver, Gold, Midnight Flame, and it weighs about 226 grams. Number 1. Huawei P40 Pro is available in the market from April 2020. The phone got 6.58-inch screen display and a resolution of 1200 and 2640 pixel. It has 8GB of RAM with 128GB or 256GB or 512GB of internal storage, respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB for the main camera option of this smartphone. It has a 5 camera setup on the back side, starting with 50 megapixel main shooter with 1.9 aperture and the periscope 12 megapixel telephoto lens with a 3.4 aperture, and the 40 megapixel ultra wide angle central lens. Back camera features Leica Optics LED flash panorama SDR slow motion up to 7608 difference per second at 7:20 resolution, and also 960 frames per second at 1080p resolution on the front side. It has a 32 megapixel selfie camera with a 3.2 aperture and the IRTOF 3D camera. Huawei P40 Pro offers Android 10, EMUI 10.1 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4200 mAh non-removable battery with 40-watt fast charging support. The phone available in 3 color variant. Its weight about 209 grams. If you're interested in any of these phones, the link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.